just wow. That's kind of the expression I have right now because of how well what we've created has been received. A few months back when we started on the journey of actually creating a whole new category, whenever it comes to what we do in recruiting firm services, we were kind of like, is this really something that we need to do now? Are we really going to rename our company from what everybody's known for the last 3.5 years? But again, like I said, wow. The reception has been overwhelming. The people that are seeing the content, that are watching the videos, and they're reaching out and saying, I didn't really understand that we should be looking at things this way. That whenever it comes to recruiting, that it's really not a cost. It's really looking at creating a revenue amplification. Everything that you do whenever it comes to recruiting is to continue to build that growth, to be able to scale your business. And looking at it, yeah, there's ATSs out there, and there's people that say that they do some of the same things we do. But the thing is that some of them are, but not everything comes together into a revenue workforce platform. And the difference with that is addressing and treating every person that comes through, looking at what is their propensity to be able to create revenue for your company. In doing that, it takes a lot of the burden off of the business owners, off of those people who are spinning the wheel every day, playing resume roulette, hoping that they're going to find the person to fill that position that just got put open and jump out there and run the job ads on Indeed and hope for the best. And sometimes other than resume roulette, it's kind of like putting a blindfold on and throwing a dart at a dartboard, hoping that you're going to hit something. And what I hear a lot of times is, and I mean, there are a lot of good people on Indeed, don't get me wrong. And we actually feed leads in from Indeed into our system as well. But the things that a lot of people are tired of people from all over the world coming and applying for the positions, coming in from everywhere, people that are sending in a resume in hope or lying on the resume. And today there's resumes that are read by AI and then some software that reads the resume with AI. And so it's really AI talking to AI, which doesn't really do anybody much good. But what we do is running this and putting it in front of the other 70% of job seekers. Let's face it, 30% of the active workforce is on Indeed, but I guarantee if they're on Indeed, they're probably also on Facebook and Instagram. So we want to put it in front of every person, and we want to do it within a reasonable radius of where your office is. It's not just about us in the service. It's about you looking at how you start to view the recruiting process, no matter who it is that you work with. Because there's 4 pieces and 4 keys that you have to really have in place in order to have a successful recruiting campaign. And these 4 elements aren't as hard to achieve as you might think. The first one is your brand. What is your brand saying about your business? Whenever somebody sees your trucks rolling down the road, do they look at them and go, oh, wow, that's really cool and it's memorable? Because to be successful in this business, you have to be memorable for your customers, but you also have to portray a brand that people feel comfortable and feel proud to come work for. They don't dread getting in the van, going to make it to the first job or not, right? A newer fleet, great branding, having those things in place. The next thing is, what are your reviews? We're really looking for people who have way more than 100 reviews online and a star rating of over 4.7 in order to be successful. And we're not saying that if you have that, you can't be successful. We've just seen with ratings lower than that, people go look at it and it gets tougher to get people interested in coming to work for a company that has less than stellar reviews. The better your reviews, the better people see that, because most of the people that you want to attract, if they're any good at all, no matter if they're an apprentice or somebody that doesn't have experience or somebody that has 10 years experience, if they're any good, they're already working somewhere. They're working for someone else. So you're having to show them an opportunity that looks better than where they're currently at, because they're going to have to take a step and move. You're taking a chance on them, but they're also taking a chance on you. So you have to do a great job of presenting the opportunity. So the third area of presenting that opportunity is, what is your pay package look like? What is it that they can make? What is it when they come in? What kind of clear path to what level they can get to? And in today's marketplace, for just about every experienced technician position and experienced installer out there, if you're below $70,000 a year, you're going to struggle. You need to be upward. Most of the time, most of the companies we work with that are successful, most of those technicians and installers can make north of $100,000 a year. And benefits. Today, everybody expects there to be the general benefits, health, dental, vision, if you have a 401k. What I recommend to a lot of people is, if you don't have benefits, look for a PEO. I did an entire podcast the other day with Bruce Silver. You can find it on the channel here, where he went through and explained what a PEO is. It's a professional employment organization where they actually set up and manage all your HR functions for you. It makes it really streamlined for your employees for their pay, for their benefits, all those pieces, and it becomes very reasonable for you to put in place. So today, there really is no reason for any company, no matter what size it is, not to be able to have decent benefits for their employees. After benefits, the pay, what are the intangible benefits that cause people to want to work for you? If you don't know what they are, go talk to your best employees and ask them, why do you work here? Why do you stay here? There's other opportunities. What makes you stay here working for us? And they'll be the best person to let you know what those things are. It could be as simple as a newer fleet. They get to take their trucks home. They get to dispatch from home. There's other things. They feel connected to the company. Their personality fits, those types of things. So you have to have that. And then the fourth thing is your audience size. And I know that this seems unfair earlier that if you have a smaller audience, you're not going to have as much success as if you have a larger audience. What we mean by audience isn't the population of your city or county. It is the audience that's available and through Meta, through Facebook and Instagram. Because if you have less than 500,000 in a 30-mile radius, if you think about it, it's just math. There's 500,000 people. How many people in that 30-mile radius have the experience, have the attitude, have the culture fit, have exactly what you're looking for to be the perfect person to come work for your company? If that's less than 150,000, it really gets hard. If it's 300,000, it's hard. If it's 500,000, it gets a little easier. If it's 750,000 or a million, now you see the population, the sample size grows. So the likelihood of finding someone that you're looking for that fits your culture, that fits everything about your company, grows. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have a smaller audience that you can't be successful, but it means you may have to do some different things. For instance, if you have an audience size that's 100,000 people in a 30-mile radius, you're going to have to look at why would somebody want to move to your area? And what are those keys that would attract them to come work there? And we've done recruiting in areas like ski resorts where there's a population of 60,000 people in a 60-mile radius. And there's not many skilled technicians that usually live in that radius because it's the playground of the rich and famous. So we have to do things like get people to come live, work, and play in the mountains. Now, to do that, they'd be able to have the pay to be able to live in the area that has a high cost of living and those types of things. Relocating in the same types of area, or they live in the cold, they're going to relocate to the beach area. All of those things can come into play with attracting people if you do have a smaller audience. And we do that very successfully. In my case, like I live on an island with no bridge, so it's tough, right? And there's only 450 people. But you get the point, right? You got to have a large enough sample size of people who might have the requirements and the fit that you're looking for in order for the campaign to be successful. And that's why we have those. I mean, it's not to say you can't work, it won't work, but it says to say that it's going to take a little bit more time because you have to get it in front of more people in order to find the people that do have those skills. Now, once that comes in, the biggest thing is I hear people complain about is I have to look through all these resumes and I look through them and they look good on paper, but they come in and they don't really have the experience they said they do, or they can't pass a criminal history, or they have this or have that. And that's back to what I talk about with resume roulette, right? One of the advantages of having a system is so that it can do the automated filtering. And so as soon as a lead comes in, they should immediately be given a task to be assessed. One of the things that we like to do is the one-way automated video interview. That way you're able to see what they look like, how they communicate, and if it's somebody you would feel comfortable sending to your home to do work without you being there. And as I a lot of times say that if you ever had anybody pull in your parking lot and get out of their car or truck and walk to your office and you see them walking, you wish you didn't have to talk to them. It depends. There's different personalities, right? Technicians usually have a different personality than installers. They're a little bit more likely to go house to house, client to client. So when there comes to the assessments other than the video interview, well, with the video interview, you want to make sure that they can communicate properly, that they can answer questions and they don't stutter and stammer, because they're not going to be able to stutter and stammer when they're actually talking to the customer. Then skills assessments, and finally a personality assessment to make sure that if they're going to be doing sales, if they're going to be doing diagnosing, repairing, and selling, they need to be high on the I scale. I had a call with somebody last week hiring people just to do phone sales, and they wanted them to be higher on D because there's a lot of rejection when it comes to cold calling. So there's different ways of looking at it. Your installers are going to be more steady relators, cautious thinkers, because they're going to a job that's already been sold. They're picking up their equipment, going there and doing the job. So from that standpoint, but really you need to have not one of those things, not two of those things, all of those things together, start to paint a picture of who this person is and whether or not they're going to be a fit for your company culturally and experience-wise. We call it a people analyzer, because we don't just want to put right people in right seats. We want to put the right hearts in the right trucks whenever it comes to that standpoint. Then going through and making sure that they're going to be a fit. Because if they're not a fit, how much does it cost you to bring in another employee, to do all the training again, like to offboard that employee, onboard the new employee? We know that an empty truck sitting in the lot usually is somewhere between $30,000 to $60,000 a month or more, just sitting there empty. But how much does it cost you in lost revenue from having to train a new person, from having to bring them in and do all the onboarding? Usually it's around $14,000 to $17,000 to replace a person, right? To bring a new person in and to onboard them. And what unrealized monthly revenue do you have from the underperformer out there? The person that just doesn't have the right attitude, that's really not doing. You've got them in the truck, because if not, then you're really in a bind. Being able to top grade them is going to be of utmost importance so that you can increase that revenue. Everything we do is helping focus on increasing revenues for companies. It's not about spending more money. It's about bringing in the people that are going to be able to go out there and generate the revenue. So there's all of those different costs associated, along with, other than the direct ones, how about the indirect cost of the employee that has to work overtime to pick up the slack for the employee that's not continuing to do their job correctly, or having to pick up the slack because another truck is sitting there empty, or somebody quit and there's nobody to fill in. You don't have a pipeline of talent ready to plug in. All of those pieces come together. So typically, instead of it, if you got that truck sitting there for 3 months at $50,000, that's $150,000 for 3 months that you're missing out on revenue, not counting the overtime, the other things that are happening, the missed appointments, the bad reviews that are happening. So there's a larger cost that goes with having that empty position than just the $30,000 of unrealized monthly revenue. What other impacts are happening? Who else is affected? People in the office are affected. The person trying to go through the resumes is affected. The dispatcher having to move people around to try to fill gaps is affected. So it can have a damning effect on all the way across the entire company if you don't have a system in place to continually have revenue generators coming in the door so that you can take the company to the next level. That's the key to scaling. There's a lot of people out there and a lot of great information on scaling the business, taking it to 5 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. In the world of home services, there's never been a time that's more ripe for opportunity than right now. Companies that started 5 years ago selling for over $100 million and those types of things, and you're being able to take advantage of that, but you can't do it if you don't have the right people in the right seats so that you can continue to generate that revenue. And then from that revenue, being able to make it so your profit margins go up as well. Because it's one thing to have revenue. The other thing is making it so that it's profitable along the way, because we all know that number that people look at, and that's EBITDA whenever it comes to making an acquisition. But even if you aren't looking to sell, if you're looking to just grow the business and get to the point that you can pass it down to your children, if that's the case, you still want to hand over a healthy business to them. I've seen time and time again where people are ready to hand over the business to their children and the children don't want it because they don't want another job. They can go work for someone else. If it's not set up that it's a business that's running without you, that has the key talent in place to generate that revenue, the chances of them wanting it is going to be slimmer. So again, why did we create Revenue Workforce Platform? Why not just continue down the vein it was? Because we feel that your business is different and it's too important to just continue to look at it the same old way. The old way was reactive. The old way was it cost us money. The new way is being proactive, always having a pipeline open. Now that pipeline can be a trickle, it can be a flow, or it can be a flood. You can turn it on and off like a dial, but it has to be set up the right way so that you're getting the message in front of the people that are going to be the best fit for what you're looking for. So all of these things combined, when it comes down to it, start looking at what's it really costing you to have that empty truck sitting out there? What does it cost you to put the wrong person in that truck sitting out there? And then what else? What other things? I talked to someone today and I said, other than the cost, what other benefits will you see by having a system in place that's going to allow this to happen so you can fill those trucks? And they said, it would help my marriage. So all of these things come into play. There's intangibles everywhere that the better your business is running, the happier you are, the more your employees are happy, everything continues to flow smoothly. I've rambled a little bit here, but I just wanted to share that there's a reason behind it. We didn't just think it was cute to do it. We wanted to do it because we know that we can make a difference and we want to come out of the gate. And I said, again, wow, it's been such an overwhelming, welcoming. Our calendars are filling up with people wanting to understand, see more about the Talent on Tap, understand how a revenue workforce platform can help them in their business. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for being on this journey with us. And also to those existing clients, thank you for helping us form what we've turned into the revenue workforce platform. And for those future people that are going to come work with us, we welcome you. We want to show you that there is a better way of doing things. And we'll be the first to let you know if we don't think it's going to be a fit. I had a call earlier today where I told the person, this may not be a fit if you're only looking to hire that one person. And that's okay, because we want it to be an ongoing relationship. And so that you can continue to have that tap always on, because you never know when you're going to need to add another revenue amplifier to your system or to your team. Again, Jody Under with Talent on Tap. If this has resonated with you, if you want to find out more, go to talentontap.com or just click the link below. We have a PDF that can walk you through exactly what a revenue workforce platform is. So until then, again, thank you very much for those of your support. Thank you for your enthusiasm, and we look forward to sharing with you more as we go down this journey.